All right, 2 Kings chapter 19. Let's call this one Purpose and subtitle it Letterman, because from time to time around here, we talk about how things like Letterman's jackets, awards that you get for athletic achievements, primarily in high school, but in college sometimes as well, they all have an expiration date, because any award, even though it can be nice to have, it can fit nicely on a wall. It always begs the question, what are you doing now? And so if we are wearing our Letterman's jackets 30 years down the road, still trying to live off the glory of past days, it can make us start to look a little bit thirsty for recognition for old accomplishments. And likewise, in this chapter, as we are going to see Hezekiah completely uncertain as to what to do about the Assyrian army outside of his doorstep, as we mentioned in the last chapter, he is going to send people to Isaiah the prophet to find out from God what, if any, options he has. And Isaiah is going to have good news. This army is about to go away pretty soon, and you're not going to have to do much, if anything, to make it happen. However, after he gets that reassuring word, rest assured, the Assyrians are not going to be content to have him have a peaceful moment with God, understanding that the chapter seems to describe this Rabshakeh as a pretty insightful individual, whether or not he has spies in the king's court or whether or not he is just wise to the ways of war, understanding they've conquered so many nations up to now. He understands the need to destabilize Hezekiah, and he's going to be effective in doing that. Because even though God is effectively going to have begun to fulfill his promise, since the Rabshakeh is going to go back to the king and is going to find the king preoccupied with other wars, they are going to keep up a front that suggests confidence as they send a letter back to Hezekiah saying, we're here and we're not going away. After Hezekiah gets that letter, spreads it out on the floor, and goes back to God, pleading for more reassurance, God's going to offer him that. In a lot of ways, reminding me that even though Hezekiah has been relatively successful up to this point, he seems so similar to Gideon, who even after getting a word of reassurance from God, needs more, because sometimes our problems are just that difficult. And understand there are times in life where our doubts are honestly going to be well-founded in the challenge ahead of us, but we miss opportunities when we allow the size of the challenge in front of us to convince us to stop looking for opportunities or a way out or a way to overcome the challenge ahead. And that's exactly what God is going to help Hezekiah see in his second reassurance, where he is going to go into more detail to basically help us understand that even though the Rabshakeh might have been 100% right, that Judah is in no position to now demand its autonomy from Assyria, God is going to say, I'm the one that sets the boundaries. And what they fail to realize is they have run their course in my purpose for what they were supposed to do. And their purpose ended at Israel. It does not extend into Judah, because God is about to make it clear that Assyria has fulfilled his purpose for them at this time. And all of their past success leading through Israel does not extend into Judah. And that's where the letter jacket comes back into play. See, because as wise as the Rabshakeh seems to be in pointing out all the reasons why Judah literally probably should fold up and let Assyria roll over them, he is making much too much of their past success, allowing presumption about what they have already accomplished to convince them that their time's not over and they're supposed to mow over Judah as well, when God has said, your time is run, bud. Helping to give us another example of why presumption is so dangerous, not just for kings and armies, but for us. Understanding it's not just the Rabshakeh. Back when Israel was first conquering the promised land, they got to a small town named Ai, and as we've mentioned before, presumption about the large walled city they just defeated in Jericho led them to believe that they were just to mow over Ai, when that wasn't the case. And that was one of a number of examples leading us back to this point where now the king of Assyria and the Rabshakeh have made the same mistake, helping us understand, especially as believers, that what we see in front of us is only part of what we need to consider in deciding how and when to move forward. Understanding that in the next chapter, we're going to see Hezekiah, king of Judah, learn that that is not just a lesson for the Assyrians, but one that he is going to have to learn as well, as he is going to put too much emphasis on both his past and present success.